Hey every pony, we're outside the Everfree Forest, ready to go in and try to find the mythical Mary Sue. There have been a lot of sightings over the years, but finding a real one is a challenge, but we just might get lucky today. So let's go every pony and find us a Mary Sue!
Oh man, not again.
So, not only did we not find a Mary Sue, we can't seem to find Day Tripper now either. He's probably lost in the forest somewhere. Let's just start the episode.
Got a job that's just no fun. Call on me, I'll get it done. Cauldron stuck and needs a mix. I'm the one who's got the fix. Help you teach pre-calculus. Scrub the floors, won't make a fuss. Clearing calcs, just give a yelp.
Hey, every pony! Welcome back to Pony Talk. Well, as you can tell from that opening bit and the title, yeah, I really don't believe Mary Sues exist. At least not in the way most people define what a Mary Sue is. And for the 5 of you out there who don't know what a Mary Sue is, it's basically a character that's just completely perfect in every way and has no flaw whatsoever, and life is just so grand and amazing for them. At least that's what it's supposed to be. But like many things, the internet has taken it and warped it and twisted it and torn it apart and built it back up to the point where the original definition doesn't even apply anymore. And of course, the kicker, most people are using it wrong. You see, to ape the one thing Lily Pete said that I still agree with, when someone calls a character a Mary Sue, it's usually for lack of a better description of why they hate the character. And while it's not uncommon for canon characters to be labeled Mary Sues, it generally applies to OCs in any given fandom. And while the original intention of the label was to keep people away from making the all-too-perfect character, it's now just become this eponymous boogeyman of fanfiction. Or any writing, really. It's something we all live in fear of when making up a character. How do I keep them from being a Mary Sue? Well, the good news is someone made a Mary Sue test. In fact, they've made a couple of them. But the bad news is, they're crap. All of them. They're all crap. Yeah, I said it. Come at me. Because I've seen these tests, and they're all far too broad. If they aren't just aping things from another Mary Sue test, they're coming up with their own things that are just far too broad and really apply to every character ever in fiction. And they never, ever apply to the world you're writing. I know one of the things you're supposed to take off or add to, whatever the way they do this, is if your character has highlights in their hair. But in a world like Equestria, that's just a normal thing, so it shouldn't count. And I'm sure there's someone about to make a comment right now saying, well, then you just don't count that one. Well, then what's the point of the freaking test? If I can just pick and choose which one of these things I want to follow, then why should I follow any of them? So we're already off to a bad start since no two people can really sit down and actually figure out what a Mary Sue is. If it really is a character that's really special and perfect and powerful, then, well, I got some bad news for you, bronies. Twilight is a Mary Sue. I mean, I know a lot of haters want to throw that on Starlight, but really, sit down and break down Twilight's character for a moment. She had magical power well beyond her age. That allowed her to be chosen by the princess, or essentially the god of this world, to be her own personal student. And then she had another princess as her foal sitter. Oh, and then it turned out she's also really, really smart. Her only real flaw was being too involved with books to have friends. But the friends she did end up making were all chosen warriors too, and she was the leader of the chosen warriors. And together they all reformed the first villain and broke the curse. Oh, and then later she got to be a princess too, and got her own magical castle delivered to her. So yeah, break all those components down, and Twilight is the definition of a Mary Sue. And I'm bet you're mad about that, aren't you? Ho-ho! Stick around, I'll make it worse. Because again, you saw the thumbnail, the other one who's a big Mary Sue is Batman. Oh yes, the Bat everyone loves, especially Warner Brothers. A billionaire crime fighter who can defeat anyone there ever was ever. Though, to be fair, a lot of that was because the fans built him up so much. But still, break the character down to his core, and boy, that fits a lot of Mary Sue or Marty Stu or Gary Stu, whatever, tests, doesn't it? Checks a lot of those boxes, I'd say. And swinging back to MLP and completing the characters on my thumbnail, Gabby herself was kinda seen as a Mary Sue by some people. In fact, she's such a Mary Sue that even the fans immediately loved her. We're all under her Mary Sue spell! And really, is that such a bad thing? Seriously, I could go on and on about how many characters I know from fiction are just complete Mary Sues. And I'm sure you could too if you gave it some thought. So the question is, what really is a Mary Sue? Or better question, should we really care that much about them? Because the worst sin a Mary Sue ever created was limiting people's imagination. Because everyone got so worried that their characters can be labeled a Mary Sue, they started doubting themselves. They started writing to appease the masses and everyone else, but not themselves. And that is where you have to start. You have to like your character. You have to like your story. Because if you don't like it, then you can be sure no one else will. Every character's components can be broken down to fit the label of a Mary Sue. It's not those components that make a character a Mary Sue. It's how they're handled in the narrative. The absolute best example of what we think a Mary Sue is Bella Swan from Twilight. To the point where I think we should really rename the trope the Bella Swan. She's beautiful, she's mysterious, she's special for no real reason, everyone loves her, and in the end she gets to be the hero above all the other more important, more powerful characters. Yeah, that's a Mary Sue. That's why the story sucks. But even then, there could have been something good there, but the author's intent or talent just wasn't there. And for me, that right there is what determines a Mary Sue, the authorial intent. If you have a story in you that you know you can make work, then you go for it. Ignore the Mary Sue stigma and just write what you want to write. But if your intention is to show off, hey, look how awesome my character is, then yeah, you're gonna falter and fail. Maybe give that one a second thought. But don't let what people might say about your character stop you from writing the character the way you want. Is there a chance your character could be a true Mary Sue? Yeah, but it's not as big as you or the rest of the internet think. So don't worry about it and develop the character and the story as best you can. Believe in yourself, and others will too. And on that overly sappy note, I think I'm going to end the episode here. But since I'm on a kick of tearing down hated fandom ideas, join me next time when I talk about why recolors really aren't that big a deal. Until then, I am Princess Birdie, and I'll see you again for more Pony Talk.
Rock your little ones to sleep while hanging up the sheets. I can help you with your heavy load. Walk Granny across the street. I'll run you round the places fast. It's really no big feat. Can we help her find the purpose in her life? Cheer you if you're feeling low. Plant your garden, make it grow. Write a piece for your quartet. Filling in on clarinet. Bake that cake as fast as lightning. She's so good at things, it's frightening.
Another video down. I think I'm gonna go soak in the tub for a while and relax.
Hi!
Holy crap, you're real?
Yep, I'm Ruby Heartthrob, and I can't wait to join you and every pony else on your crazy adventures. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Aw, but I thought we were gonna be besties.
Nope.